Hey guys, what's going on? Happy Monday and Happy New Year to you. So, I'm gonna start doing this kind of like a podcast slash YouTube video, maybe bring it over to Twitch eventually. Some of the things I just want to discuss. I'll probably bring in some artists to, just like I did in the past with the mix originally, and just kind of talk to them and see how, they go about doing things in the industry and stuff like that. So, one of the things I wanted to start with this year was just kind of having a weekly discussion on stuff that I'm doing and stuff that might be relevant in the music industry and stuff like that. So anyway, this is a kind of like an open discussion for me. So if you're watching on YouTube, I appreciate the support so far. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and be sure and subscribe to see future videos like this or any tutorials or music that I have lined up for you. So first and foremost, our track Dangerous hit 2 million plays in December. So I want to quick show you on Spotify. Hit 2 million plays, so massive thank you to everyone that's listened. So you can see there 2 million. Obviously my biggest track that I've ever done, and the reason for that was that it was in fact released through Major Laser's album and Mad Decent, which is Diplo's record label. So obviously it's really huge, and I definitely appreciate it. Hopefully more opportunities like this come up in the future, and I can do this again. If you want to see me talk about that whole evolution with making the song and how we got it released and stuff like that, I'll link it up here or put a link in the description so you can watch that if you're interested. Yeah, so it's obviously a huge milestone for me, so I really appreciate all the support on it, and just kind of huge. So moving on, and I just kind of brought up some things that I want to talk about. So what I'm working on, so I actually have a couple progressive house, tech house tracks that I've been working on for the past couple weeks. So I might go into some tutorials on that and how I've been putting them together, or I might just end up releasing them. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do the whole label thing this year. In the past, I've run my own label, which is Doubtfire Productions, and last year I actually removed all my tracks from the label and kind of shut down the label because I wanted to have a fresh start, and a lot of stuff was really old. So, and you'll see a bunch of tracks on this channel that are really old that I just kind of want to put out and let people experiment with and stuff like that. So I wanted to have a fresh start and see what I can put together this year. Depending on what I decide, that'll be how I put those tracks out. And then also I'm really working hard on this YouTube channel and along with Twitch, some gaming stuff which I'll do totally separate from this music channel. And segue into that for the next one is I'm actually starting with Ableton 10. So I've been using Ableton 9 for the longest, and I'm finally deciding to move up to 10. Yeah, I have been using Ableton 9 for the longest, so finally decided to move up to 10. I played with it a little bit already, and it's relatively the same. There's probably some new features that I might play around with and see what I can come up with for future tutorials, but I still want to do a lot of the projects with 9 because I know a lot of people haven't moved up to 10. I mean, I was on 9 for the longest time, and I know some people are still on 9. So if I do decide to do a lot of projects with 10, then it'll kind of flip-flop back and forth from 9 to 10. So I don't know where that's going to go yet. Like I said, I haven't really built too many projects with 10 yet. I've just kind of played around with it a little bit, so we'll see. Alright, so my next question is, what's more important, Twitch, YouTube, podcast, or anything else? I honestly don't think that one's more important than the other. And I can kind of explain that by, Twitch has its own unique audience, where you want to see something live, or, you want to go and sort of like watching something on television where it's live for a little bit, you could take it in. Whereas YouTube, it's something that's posted on the site that you can go watch and rewatch. I guess you could kind of do the same thing on Twitch, but really the platform's not necessarily set up algorithm wise the way YouTube is. So they both have their advantages and disadvantages, I think. Even though YouTube does have a live streaming service, I'm kind of going to experiment with both and see what kind of techniques I can come up with for each one. And then most of them will go into a podcast. So the easy thing about doing that is I can just take any audio or any discussion piece that I do and transcribe it in a podcast. So that's pretty simple. I mean, it might take a little bit of work to do, but I think you should be doing a podcast. I mean, I've been told quite a bit that podcasts are pretty important. So if you're hearing this on a podcast, and obviously, I've decided that, podcast is going to be one of the things that I'm going to be doing quite often, or at least weekly. That's kind of my schedule for now. Anything else? Like, I think SoundCloud's still relatively important for musicians, get their music out there, try to share it around a little bit, and any social media just always helps. I mean, I look at social media as it's free and it's there for you to use and utilize, and why not try out some different things that might work for you, might get you popular and stuff like that. So pretty much everything that I'll post on YouTube or Twitch, or when I go live, or if I post a podcast, I'll kind of put it up on different social media platforms. And there's plenty of videos on how to do Facebook posts, how to do Instagram posts and stuff like that. So last question here is, what am I looking forward to in 2020? I'm looking forward to a lot, really. I'm looking forward to doing a lot of live sessions, doing a lot of tutorials. Twitch is going to be huge for me this year in terms of content that I put out and a lot of stuff that I do. YouTube's going to be huge, or I'm just looking forward to putting out a lot of content. I've struggled with it in the past in terms of me wanting just to put stuff out, but I've never got around to it. So this year I'm really going to dig down and just kind of see how that transpires and see how it works. I guess some of the other things I'm looking forward to some of the music that I'm going to be working on, and then meeting all of you guys and talking to each one of you and being able to try to solve any problems that you have, whether it be music, whether it be the platforms, or how to use certain gear. I'm going to go through a lot of the gear that I use, what speakers I use. Like, I just got this Stream Deck for streaming. How's it working for me? Will it work for you? Different setup that I have, just a little bit of everything, so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to just the experience that'll come with it, and hopefully it'll go in a positive direction. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's just a little short introduction to what I'm going to be doing this year. And if you have any questions or comments, please post them below. If you have any questions on the podcast, you can follow me on Instagram. It's Beatwalker. Follow me on Facebook. It's also Beatwalker. My Twitch is DJ Beatwalker. And just look up Beatwalker on YouTube. I haven't been able to customize my URL yet, but I'm sure you'll find me if you just search Beatwalker. So Beatwalker everything, you'll be able to find me. Yeah, and just feel free to ask any questions you have, whether it be about the track I release with Major Lazer, or any of the productions that I put out, any of the tutorials. If you have trouble on the projects, if you want a certain project style, I have no problem with trying to work something up for you. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing from each and every one of you. And again, Happy New Year, and hope everything goes well for you.